Good evening. When you fly, you trust the pilot taking your life into their hands has all the proper credentials to get you to your destination safely.
But what if they didn't? Peel police say a former Air Canada pilot used a fake license to misrepresent his qualifications for decades, logging more than 900 domestic and international flights. It's not a Hollywood script. These are very real allegations leading to the arrest of a former captain. Our John Woodward joins us live tonight to help navigate this investigation, dubbed Project Icarus.
Yeah, Michelle, Jeff Wall was flying high as a pilot for the largest airline in the country, even representing that company's union in interviews with CTV News. Police here in Peel may have brought all that back down to earth.
This investigation and the details surrounding it read like a movie script.
But police say this fraud was very real. An Air Canada pilot flying for decades, captaining planes full of passengers like 767s and 777s that he wasn't licensed to do.
During that time, he captained over 900 domestic flights, earning millions of dollars in salary for those captaining flights, but also flew tens of thousands of passengers.
Charged with fraud and forgery is Jeff Wall, who a posted biography with Ontario's Georgian College says once flew with Canada's Armed Forces and helped connect future pilots with careers as a part-time employee.
Canadian airlines are safe.
That's video of Wall in 2015 sitting down for an interview on CTV's Canada AM. He was the chair of the Air Canada Pilots Association. During the period, Peel police say he wasn't licensed. Air Canada said in a statement, despite the licensing problem, he was competent to fly, saying safety was not compromised by this incident because all pilots at Air Canada undergo mandatory recurrent training every 6 months to validate their flying competency.
I'm going to show you this. This is mine, actually.
CTV aviation expert Phil Dirty said every year or more a pilot has to show his license to what's called a check pilot, a person working for Transport Canada. But there's apparently no cross-referencing that with government databases.
It's not valid. So, you know, you're taking it at face value, but when the medical is done, then it should be checked there. And then also with the database at Transport Canada, it should also be checked at that point as well.
Police say it was a regular check in March of 2025 that finally flagged the license. Air Canada called in Transport Canada, which reviewed the situation, and then they called the police.
Police allege that Wall made a false police report to them to cover his tracks. Wall hasn't responded to messages from CTV News. He's considered innocent until proven guilty and did have a lower standard of pilot's license.
Police described comparing someone who's flying these big planes with a lower standard of license like a family doctor who is doing surgery. Now, Wall will have a chance to defend himself in court. He's going to have a first appearance later this month. Reporting live from Peel Regional Police Headquarters, I'm John Woodward. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, John. Still with air travel tonight, the federal government has now launched consultations on the future of Billy Bishop Airport.
It comes as the province moves to expand the facility, including bringing jets to the waterfront. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris is live tonight with the latest. Siobhan.
Well, the Premier's been pushing this for months, saying as far as he's concerned, jets that can reach places like the Caribbean are coming here to the island airport one way or the other. The Prime Minister has said he hasn't made up his mind, and now he wants to hear from you. It's a chance to weigh in on what's next for Toronto's Island Airport. The federal government has set up an online forum for feedback on the possible expansion of Billy Bishop.
We want to listen to the voice of Toronto, people in the GTA, users of the airport, people who live close.
Many of those people living within easy reach of the airport are torn.
I'm worried about more lines, selfishly, getting in and out. I do like the idea of being able to go further, but I think construction period is going to be years and it's going to be a headache.
There are worries about what comes with more passengers from more destinations.
The jets are going to be noisy, really noisy. That's going to be terrible.
Already the traffic downtown is wild. People cannot get anywhere all summer.
Some locals are willing to be convinced on a revamp that could take 25 years and $5 billion to finish.
It depends on how well they can balance out both the issues.
If it's good for business, I'm all for it, but I'm worried about the noise and the traffic.
The Port Authority and Armed arm's-length agency of the federal government is working on the expansion plan, but it's been championed by the Ford government, passing legislation to push Toronto out of decision-making.
I think it's going to add thousands of jobs, attract more tourists. It's going to make Pearson more competitive on flights, and it's just going to be convenient.
The mayor welcomes these consultations, but suggests it's hard to have an opinion on a plan no one has seen.
How many passengers? How often would that plane be flying, jet, be flying every hour? Is it every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes? What is it? Who's going to pay for the $5 billion? I have 10 other questions.
The head of the Port Authority said last month the plan could take up to a year to develop. The chair of advocacy group No Jets TO has already seen enough.
I don't think this meets the bar of consultation. It's a very basic survey at best, and one with kind of slanted questions that seem to lean towards a desired outcome.
The consultation window is open until July 24th. We asked the Transport Minister what happens if this expansion proposal is panned. Stephen McKinnon didn't want to presuppose what the consultation will find. The federal government has promised to release what they hear in a report. Reporting live, I'm Siobhan Morris. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. Well, for anyone flying into our city today, they were treated to varied conditions right now as we take a live look at the skyline. Looking pretty nice downtown, but depending on where you've been today, you may have seen some rain, and there's potentially stormy conditions on tap for tonight. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Michelle, we've got some showers right now impacting the Cobourg area and then back toward Kitchener-Waterloo, Brantford, Woodstock. This is going to slide its way eastward and bring us a bit of wet weather later on tonight. We've also got a cluster of thunderstorms near the Bruce Peninsula and southern Georgian Bay, bringing those communities a good soaking. But it's still dry for now in the downtown core and much of the GTA. You may have found it a little cooler, a little more comfortable today along the lakeshore, but away from the water, we're starting to tap into some heat and humidity. It feels like 36 right now in Niagara Falls. We've got winds out of the south, not providing a whole lot of relief. Mild overnight tonight with a low of 19 degrees and the risk of thunderstorms. We're going to talk about this hot, humid and unsettled weather pattern coming up. For now, though, Michelle, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. We have a developing story at this hour in northern Ontario. An OPP officer stationed in Orangeville has been killed in the line of duty near Kapuskasing. OPP Commissioner Thomas Carrick says Constable Taryn Bally was killed in Hearst, a remote community about 500 kilometers northeast of Thunder Bay. OPP say officers were conducting an investigation in the community, and Bally was seriously injured and died. One person was taken into custody. No charges have been announced, and police have not provided details on how Bally was killed. He was a member of the Dufferin County Detachment in the OPP Central Region with 2.5 years of service and was on deployment with the James Bay Detachment.
Police have identified 7 additional suspects in a connection with a fatal shooting in Etobicoke last month. 28-year-old Anthony Taylor was fatally shot inside an apartment building near Queens Play Drive and Rexdale Boulevard last week Sunday. Police arrested 30-year-old Ernest Giamfi in connection with Taylor's death. Now they're searching for 7 more suspects, all of whom are charged with second-degree murder. They range in age from 23 to 35. All are wanted on Canada-wide warrants.
Still ahead, new safety standards to protect young people from digital dangers. Ottawa is expected to introduce legislation banning social media for kids under 16. We'll explain.
But first, teachers and parents are gathering outside the Toronto District School Board offices this hour to rally against proposed cuts to the TDSB. CTV Sean Leathong is there live with more. Sean.
Well, Nathan, it's the Parent Involvement Advisory Committee that's having a meeting with the Toronto District School Board tonight. And the protest, as you can see, is beginning in about 5 minutes or so because there's a lot of backlash given the fact that there was an announcement just about a month ago that the TDSB would be reducing staff by over 200 positions coming up this fall. Now, with me to talk about it is Fareen Mahmood from the Parent Involvement Advisory Committee. So what are we doing here tonight?
So we're going to be listening to a presentation about the 2026-2027 TDSB budget. This is all new information for us. In previous years, this information would have been socialized with parents, with students, with trustees, but the government this year has put a complete cap on, like just a complete halt to sharing any information. What it prefers is to make a big reveal as to what everything is going to look like in September when our kids go into schools and find out how many adults are in the building. So this is really our only opportunity to get some sense of what is going on with the budget.
What are you expecting to see tonight? Because there's a lot of fear, given that we know that the number of staff positions is going to be reduced. The province saying it's due to less enrollment, about 5,000 fewer students coming into schools.
So we already know, like we have a strong sense of what we're going to see. We know, for instance, that about 800 positions have been cut. We know that over 200 actual bodies are being eliminated. We know that outdoor education is gone. We know that model school funding, so that funding that gives kids in high needs areas an additional supports, that is gone. So we know that a whole range of things are going, but it's more now just a matter of getting a more concrete picture about what's going on. It's not like we don't know, but you may as well walk into a disaster with your eyes wide open.
All right, thank you very much, Fari Mahmood from the Parent Involvement Advisory Committee for the Toronto District School Board. The meeting will happen at about 7 o'clock tonight, but the protest is getting underway at any moment right now. You can see several parents, educators, and members of this committee gathering here. We'll, of course, stay here for the time being and bring you any more information we have coming up at 11:30. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan, Michelle, send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. Toronto's transit system is expected to move thousands of people coming to the city for the FIFA World Cup.
And to help them find their way around, the TTC has introduced a number of new measures. CTV's Mike Walker has more.
Bathurst Station is one of several major transit hubs for the TTC during the FIFA World Cup, and enhancements are being made here to help the influx of transit riders navigate the system.
We're investing in service, we're investing in our infrastructure, we're investing in our readiness so that we'll be better for the World Cup, but so that we'll be better for our customers every day after, too.
The TTC rolling out a wayfinding system that will label exits, platforms, and key locations with alphanumeric signs.
One of the things we've heard from our customers is we don't know which exit to take. And so one of the things we've done is introduced a new alphanumeric system where every exit will be numbered.
We also have introduced some FIFA World Cup specific wayfindings for anyone who's visiting our city for the first time so they know exactly where they're going.
Bathurst is one of 6 stations, mainly in the downtown, where the wayfinding system is being rolled out. It's part of a pilot that runs until September.
I think it's a good idea. Keep it simple.
Coming to an environment like this can be intimidating if you've never used a subway system before. So the simpler the better.
The wayfinding information also being incorporated into the transit app.
Transfer information, exit information.
That is used by more than 300,000 TTC riders.
Each stage of the journey, we're telling you what the next stage is, how to navigate, and take the guesswork out of moving through public transportation.
Digital signs are also being installed like this one outside Bathurst Station, providing riders with real-time information.
Provides us an opportunity to give service updates, way more dynamic way of sharing information for our customers.
Nearly 80 display signs installed at 75 locations, including high-volume bus and streetcar stops with an emphasis on the World Cup.
Definitely be helpful. I mean, I don't ever know when there's delays other than when they come on the speakers and tell you.
These measures, in addition to enhanced streetcar and bus service to and from Toronto Stadium and FanFest, that include transit priority lanes on Bathurst and Dufferin. The TTC will be gathering feedback on the pilot projects, looking to expand the enhancements across the transit system. Mike Walker, CTV News.
CTV News can confirm Ottawa is expected to join countries like Australia and France and ban social media for kids under 16.
It's part of an online safety bill to be introduced as early as tomorrow. CTV senior correspondent Judy Trin has the details.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
4. How many hours?
I've seen anywhere from 3 to 6.
Every student on this grade 8 school field trip spends hours on their phone daily. Most give a social media ban for kids under 16 a failing mark.
It's like a way for them to communicate and get friends other than friends at school.
If you post a video or something like that and people put comments, it can like boost your confidence.
If you do ban it, I feel like they definitely find much more unsafe ways to get around it. That would just be more harmful to the kids.
But the culture minister is expected to table a new digital safety bill on Wednesday.
We will take all reasonable measures to make sure kids are safe in this country. I think it's obvious why it's a priority. Kids are dying.
A federal digital regulator would be appointed to set safety standards. In addition to the age limit, social media companies would be required to remove child sexual abuse material and reduce exposure to content that encourages children to hurt themselves. But experts worry the bill could backfire.
Implementing a ban is enormously difficult. It costs a lot of resources, requires a lot on the enforcement front, etc.
There's concern that age verification could violate privacy and block student access to educational material. But this teacher supports a ban because she needs more tools to control social media use in the classroom and at home.
I just feel like kids need a little bit more guidance and restriction at this age. They're at a pivotal time in their life when they are forming rights and wrongs, and I just feel like it opens up Pandora's box.
The Liberals have been trying to introduce legislation to protect children from online harms for 7 years. They now have a majority, but there isn't enough time to pass the bill before Parliament rises for the summer. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Confirmation today from the Prime Minister, the new Gordie Howe International Bridge will open at the end of the week with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
But there are questions about when the important link between Windsor and Detroit will actually be open to traffic. CTV's Ottawa Bureau Chief Graham Richardson reports.
If only the construction complexities of this massive project were the only obstacle. After decades of planning, years of construction, apparently the Gordie Howe Bridge is set to open between Windsor and Michigan.
It's positive news. Obviously, the bridge will be open at the end of the week, and you know, a symbol, but also a fact of cooperation between our countries.
But in 2026, it's just not that simple. After blasting Canada over the bridge in February and threatening to block it because of trade disputes, the White House said despite the ribbon-cutting Friday, the president's position on the Gordie Howe Bridge has not changed. The administration remains committed to securing the best deal for the American people. So some kind of ceremony this week, but no official answer yet on when traffic will actually flow.
Politics is getting weird, and I think that is the technical term these days.
The bridge was paid for by Canada, American workers and materials were used, and it's partially owned by the state of Michigan. There is wide support for it opening on the American side, too.
If there is a better deal to be had by the Americans, I have no idea what that would be.
For those who fought for decades to keep the project going on the Canadian side, there is optimism.
I'm surprised that it's been resolved as quickly as it has, and kudos to Canada and to our American friends the many American friends who have long supported this project.
But then again, maybe not.
Well, I hope so. I really hope so that it's going to happen. So let's see what really happens.
So there will be some kind of an opening ceremony on the bridge itself on Friday. One American media outlet is reporting that vehicles will flow starting Monday morning, but that was before that statement today from the White House. So the people of Michigan and Windsor may have to wait a little longer for the strange politics of 2026 to work themselves out. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
You saw Ontario's premier there in his report. He's in Washington, D.C. ahead of CUSMA trade talks. And on day 2 of his trip, Doug Ford said the Americans rolled out the red carpet for him. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on what was discussed and what was accomplished.
What is Fortress North America?
Well, Fortress North America is about encouraging people to invest more in both countries.
Doug Ford in D.C., selling not just his province, but his new Fortress North America plan. He echoed federal Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc. He feels optimistic about a renewal of the North American Trade Pact and downplayed his canceled reception with American billionaire Ross Perot Jr.
We have been jammed, meeting everyone down here. They rolled out the red carpet for us. They treat us so well. My message to everyone, we love Americans. We love the U.S., and I know Americans love Canadians. Let's get a deal done.
Ford said he was meeting 4 lawmakers today and has no plans to back down yet from the booze ban that's a real irritant for Americans.
I just want to get this deal done, and then we'll put that booze back on the shelves, and we welcome everyone. Maybe we'll have a little drink of Kentucky bourbon or something in Ontario.
The Premier has also been a contentious player in the Canada-U.S. relationship.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
With the President calling off trade talks after Ontario aired this ad. Ford said he had a positive chat with LeBlanc ahead of his trip. Other ministers portrayed a united front today.
You know, it's always good to have Team Canada talking about the benefit of the relationship.
Tariffs are really, really hurting a lot of Ontarians and a lot of Canadians. And I think it's important that we talk to American leaders across the U.S. I'll be going to the U.S. this summer. There will be many of us that will be going.
Premier Ford has taken a very positive approach, almost conciliatory, compared to other statements that we've seen in the past. So pour a little sugar on it.
LeBlanc had said he's set to speak with United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer at some point this week. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Housing advocate Eric Lombardi is the latest candidate to enter the race to become the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party.
Our economy hasn't grown for 25 years once you account for immigration. Young Ontarians face terrible job and housing markets. And the quality and access to our healthcare and education systems is falling, and fast. You know it, and so do most Ontarians.
The former finance and technology entrepreneur has been a strong voice on housing reform. He joins 4 other confirmed candidates in the race: Navdeep Bains, Dylan Mirando, Lee Fairclough, and Rob Serjanik.
The amnesty for owners of firearms banned in Canada is being extended. Ottawa has outlawed about 2,500 types of guns, saying they belong only on the battlefield. And prohibited firearms were to be disposed of or deactivated by October 30th. But that has now been extended until 90 days after the Supreme Court delivers a ruling on a case. The court is hearing an appeal challenging the initial federal firearm prohibitions announced in 2020. A decision is expected next year. The new expiry date does not affect a federal compensation program for owners of banned guns.
Parliamentarians from both sides of the aisle joined together to raise the pride flag in Ottawa. The Prime Minister said the event is a symbol of belonging and an act of vigilance. He added the rights of the LGBTQ+ people around the world are backsliding, and the community is underrepresented in Canada's democracy. The government has committed $1.5 million towards security for Pride festivals this year, part of $7.5 million over 5 years. The PM says he'll be attending some of the parades this summer.
In the Middle East, Israel struck the southern Lebanese city of Tyre today, killing at least 8 people. Minutes later, the government ordered the evacuation of the entire historic port city for the first time. Israel says today's attack targeted Hezbollah infrastructure in the area, but did not respond to why the strike took place before an evacuation warning was issued. Sometimes the Israeli military sends out such alerts ahead of time. The Lebanese Social Affairs Minister says parts of Tyre had become one of the last relatively accessible places where people could find shelter, stay with relatives, or access basic services. Meantime, the U.S. has begun retaliatory strikes against Iran. They follow a vow from Donald Trump that there would be a response after an American Apache helicopter similar to this was shot down in the Strait of Hormuz last night. The 2 uninjured aviators were rescued. That incident and this evening's American attacks add further strain to efforts to broker a peace deal and reopen the key commercial waterway.
Canada is imposing more sanctions on Israelis accused of extremist settler violence in the West Bank. Settlers have for years been building communities in the occupied territory that Canada and many other countries say violate international law. This 5th round of sanctions is related to 2 people associated with construction of settlements and 5 companies involved in setting up farms and other sites. A joint statement by Canada and several other countries says for too long, violent settlers have been able to act with near impunity, in some cases under the protection of Israel's security forces. Ottawa is urging more action by Israel, which is now accusing the Canadian government of fueling domestic anti-Semitism.
In Houston today, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen had the honor of officially passing the torch to the next crew of the Artemis moon mission.
The Artemis 2 crew, comrade, hands you the baton. You got the controls.
3 Americans and an Italian have been chosen. They won't be going to the moon, but will conduct a demonstration in Earth's orbit next year. It'll test the rendezvous and docking capabilities between the Orion spacecraft and lunar landers Blue Origin and SpaceX. The mission will be a key test of a variety of systems ahead of the moon landing scheduled for 2028. The crew introduced today will follow the Artemis 2 mission that saw Canadian astronaut Hansen and 3 others circle the moon in April.
Coming up, bringing learning to life. The Toronto Zoo teams up with the city to provide free field trips for Toronto students. Who's eligible and when? Just ahead.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, if you need to have your driveway paved, be careful. Contractors are going door to door. The OPP just issued a warning, and a couple in Toronto say they paid $5,000 and were left with a poorly done job. I love that story. That's just ahead.
Well, if you've evening plans tonight, including perhaps some outdoor sports, it's a night you're going to want to be weather aware. Keep an eye on the sky. The threat of thunderstorms is there, and showers are expected before the evening is finished. Tomorrow, 29 degrees is going to feel like 35, and we are looking at some very muggy weather heading into the weekend. We'll talk all about it after this break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Now that warmer weather is here, you may have contractors showing up in your area saying they can do home improvements, sometimes even the same day.
The OPP issued a warning following complaints. Some offering roofing repairs or driveway paving are doing poor quality work. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. A couple says a contractor came to their door last month and said they were doing work in the neighborhood. They claimed they could give them a great deal on a new driveway. The couple paid in cash, but when there were problems, the company didn't come back.
It's cracking all up in here.
Ernie and Ethel Barron of East York say last month there was a knock on their door and a paving company said they were working in the area. They claimed they could do a complete driveway job the next day. Did they tell you they wanted it in cash?
Oh, yes. First thing.
The company came with pickaxes to tear up the front part of the driveway. No new gravel was put down, and workers used boards on their feet to stomp down the new asphalt.
I expected him to be tearing everything up and redoing it like any other driveway you've ever seen.
The driveway now has ruts, cracks, and stones coming loose. The contractor said he would rip up the entire driveway, but more than half of it is just the old asphalt with some new asphalt spread over it. That's created a trip hazard. A heavy gate that was removed was also supposed to be put back in place. The couple paid the contractor $5,000. The company said they would return to fix any problems, but never did.
They haven't shown up. They don't answer their phone.
The Barons gave the money to Maplestone Paving and Masonry. When we contacted the company, a spokesperson said, "We acknowledge the driveway did not come out as we had hoped for various reasons. I fully intend to return and fix the driveway within the next 1 to 2 weeks." We waited 2 weeks and contacted the couple. Did they call you?
No, they didn't.
Did they do anything to fix your problem with your driveway?
No, they didn't. They haven't contacted me at all.
The OPP issued a warning after complaints about aggressive door-to-door contractors offering to pave driveways for cash and doing shoddy work.
Don't pay for your job up front with cash. Wait until the job's done and make sure that you're satisfied with it before you're going to pay that amount.
The Barons now worry the paving job they have won't last and regret handing over $5,000 cash. And the OPP also warned about the dirty oil scam. It's when you're selling a used car privately and criminals put oil on the engine and in the tailpipe. The car smokes and appears to have mechanical problems. When it doesn't, that's when the crooks make you a lowball offer to buy it. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, to the forecast, a warm day. We did have rain in some areas. I was outside for a little bit, and I didn't get any.
I didn't see any either, but others, they have a different story. And really, it's looking like we're getting into an unsettled stretch where everybody's going to see some rain.
Here's the tricky thing with a setup like this. Rain isn't a guarantee. It's certainly a possibility. All the ingredients are there for either some showers or some thunderstorms. But as we make our way through the next couple of days, you're going to see that we also expect some lengthy dry periods. But it is an unsettled pattern overall, and it's going to be very humid starting tomorrow. Here's a live look outside right now. Not too much action happening in the GTA, but we are tracking at the very least some showers, perhaps worst case some thunderstorms for the nighttime hours tonight. Before I show you that satellite and radar, I do want to show you what Environment Canada has issued, and that is a heat warning for extreme southwestern Ontario. This is for starting tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the 30s in this part of the province, feeling closer to 40. When it comes to the rain, the heaviest of it tonight is going to be falling around southern Georgian Bay and then to the east of Georgian Bay also. 50 millimeters going to be possible in some areas. We've seen rounds of thunderstorms in these areas, and they're slow-moving cells, so they're dropping a whole lot of rain. That is set to continue with the center of the low about right here. We are watching this line of showers inch ever closer to the GTA. So about mid-evening and then into the overnight, we see potential for wet weather and perhaps, a few rumbles of thunder and flashes of lightning. As we make our way through tomorrow, similar setup, hot, humid, chance of showers, risk of storms, but not a guarantee. Take these numbers with a grain of salt. This all depends on who gets thunderstorms, how they track, but it's looking as though many areas over the next couple of days here could pick up upwards of 15 millimeters to perhaps, as mentioned, as high as about 50 millimeters of rain. So this is around 11 o'clock tonight. This is what our models are showing. Rain impacting downtown Toronto and really right across the GTA. As we wake up tomorrow, drier conditions. There's an afternoon threat of showers or storms developing, but lots of sunshine across southwest Ontario into the day on Thursday. It's possible we'll get some overnight storms once again. Your Thursday is looking mostly dry at this point with some sunshine. And then all eyes are on Friday, maybe some overnight storms once again. Chance of scattered wet weather in the morning. I think the afternoon, though, is going to be dry and sunny. So that's great news for Team Canada playing their first game in the FIFA World Cup. And of course for the fans heading out to enjoy it. 24 degrees right now, feels like 30 at Pearson Airport. Overnight tonight, this is quite warm for an overnight low. 19 degrees, Humidex 25. Tomorrow at a glance, yes, that threat of showers and thunderstorms, but I think perhaps the bigger story is going to be just how uncomfortable it feels out there. Just about everyone feeling into the mid-30s or upper 30s, depending on where you are. But yes, please be weather aware over the next couple of days. As the saying goes, when thunder roars, it's time to head indoors. Chance of showers for both Thursday and Friday, but again, looking pretty dry. And then the weekend brings us slightly cooler, more comfortable conditions. Will be even cooler than that into early next week. That's the weather for now. Michelle, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, calls for urgent action to address chronic pain among Canadian women and women veterans. A new national report uncovers gaps in research and care, outlining a path forward.
A new national report says chronic pain among women, and especially women veterans, needs to be addressed immediately.
Now, CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us the report came out of a meeting of leading researchers, patients, and policymakers.
Hélène Lassalère never experienced chronic pain during her 26 years with the military, but she did after.
Injuries in Afghanistan also. I had like a traumatic birth also. So a lot of things contributed to that. It's not only one thing.
And while Canada's military health care is comprehensive, she says the civilian system is fragmented and challenging for chronic pain, even for a military veteran. Dalhousie professor Alice Aikens was a physiotherapist with the Canadian Armed Forces.
About 22% of Canadian women experience chronic pain.
but about 50% of Canadian women veterans experience chronic pain.
And she calls last April's report pivotal.
Women have been underrepresented in health research for far too long. And also, women veterans have been underrepresented even in veteran health research.
The authors are calling for a coordinated pan-Canadian plan to address gaps in care, policies, and research into chronic pain.
So I had to go to one clinic, for example, for the physio, another one for chiro, another one for kinesiology.
The report calls for more one-stop shops to provide treatments more efficiently. And Aiken says while the gathering of data for women and women veterans is somewhat recent, a plan to collect and organize pain data will ensure the best care is offered to women and women veterans. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A new study has found a link between vaping and lung and heart function in young adults. The study, conducted by the University of Alberta, looked at people in their early 20s who have been using e-cigarettes or vapes for roughly 3 years. The study finds a direct link to impaired lung function and potential exercise intolerance. Participants reported no cigarette or marijuana use and went through a traditional lung function test. Some of the participants showed normal lung function, but did experience greater breathlessness during the exercise.
Free complimentary field trips to the Toronto Zoo are on the way for TDSB classes beginning this fall.
CTV's Beth McDonnell has the details on the new pilot program.
Surrounded by students and educators from St. John 23rd in Flemington Park and in front of the giraffe habitat with baby Amara next to her mother, Mayor Olivia Chow unveiled a project inviting young Torontonians to the zoo.
I am excited to announce a program to provide free Toronto Zoo field trips for every student from every school in Toronto.
The free field trips are being made available to students between kindergarten and grade 12 at schools from all 4 Toronto school boards. The $300,000 cost to make it possible passed by the mayor and council in the 2026 budget.
Sometimes it's hard for families to afford to come to the zoo. It helps us with busing as well. Busing is very expensive. We have limited number of trips that we can go on.
I like how they sleep. I like how they smile, and that's what I like about gorillas.
The zoo is very fun because I like to see different animals.
With affordability top of mind, the pilot program could save families a good chunk of money. Right now, day tickets for a family of 4 would cost about $150.
I think it's very nice of the city help out a little bit.
What a great way to spend $300,000. Look, the city spent $300,000 in much worse ways.
To make it free for everybody, I think can create a bit of a tax burden on some people. So I think those who can afford to go should just stay the same.
The zoo says the program was inspired by pioneers in the field of wildlife research, like Dr. Jane Goodall, and advances its own plan to remove barriers accessing nature and animals.
To the educators who will bring their students to the zoo, thank you. You are an essential part of this work. To the students who will visit us, we are ready to welcome you in September.
The program runs over the 2026-2027 school year. Schools can register through a booking process beginning in August. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
After the break, perfectly positioned to make history. A Toronto teenager is the first female ever to be drafted in the OHL's priority draft. Her goals on and off the ice coming up. Today is Tax Freedom Day, when Canadians start working for themselves rather than the government. A study from the Fraser Institute says it took the first 159 days of the year to bring in enough money for people to pay their tax burden up front. That includes federal, provincial, and municipal taxes. In 2026, the average Canadian family with 2 or more people will pay nearly $73,000 in total taxes.
In sports, the Blue Jays will try to even up their series with the visiting Philadelphia Phillies tonight.
Got him in to score. That's the only base runner so far, but Ernie Clements launching deep to left field. Sosa runs out of room. It's gone.
But that was the only other run Toronto would get en route to a 5-2 loss in the series opener. The Jays could get a boost tonight with the return of pitcher Dylan Cease. The righty was on the injured list for about 2 weeks with a hamstring strain.
A Toronto teenager has made history after she was drafted into the Ontario Hockey League. Goaltender Sophie Jovanovic was selected by the Brantford Bulldogs in the second round, making her the first woman chosen in the OHL's under-18 priority selection. The 17-year-old is also only the second female ever to be drafted into the league. Jovanovic has played in boys' leagues her whole career, and we caught up with her after school.
Going to school today, everyone was just so happy for me and just congratulating me, and it was just such a great experience. I'm excited to see where the women's game has gone, and the PWHL especially now. I think they're doing amazing things, and I just can't wait to see where that goes.
So what's next for Sophie Jovanovic? Well, she is committed to playing hockey in college in the NCAA for Wisconsin. Returning now to the FIFA World Cup coverage, Canada's Ismaël Koné has come a long way. Born in Africa and raised in Montreal, the midfielder found his footing on the pitch.
CTV senior editor and chief anchor Omar Sachedina sat down with Koné, finding out how soccer and family keep him grounded in life's biggest moments.
Ismaël Koné is a powerhouse on the pitch. Born in Ivory Coast, he came to Montreal when he was just 7, a time of massive change for a young boy who looked at soccer as a comforting constant.
My dad played professionally back home. My mom played when she could. All my uncles played from both sides, so I picked up a ball as soon as I can. So I just remember like it was bringing me so much joy.
Though the move was a major transition.
You were quite young, but what do you remember about that time?
I never experienced cold before, so and loneliness, so it was very difficult. I remember being not the easiest child to my mom because I just don't understand why she would make that choice. At the time, I didn't understand that there was new opportunities coming to this country. Today, I'm able to look back and say I'm so thankful to my mom that she made this choice because it gave me so much chances to be where I am today.
A rising young star in the midfield, he earned a deal with CF Montreal in 2021.
Arriving there, Koné on his debut!
And a year later was on the squad for Canada for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, appearing in all 3 matches. He then played in Europe, first with Watford in England, and then to Olympique Marseille in 2024, which at the time was one of the biggest transfers for a Canadian player. But it was challenging because he got limited minutes. It's also where this video showing Koné in a heated exchange with the head coach made headlines because clubs rarely release video of internal conflict, especially with younger players. It's also, Koné says, a place that helped him grow.
I think my approach of the game completely changed because of Marseille, because it's a way bigger club than where I was.
He remained in France, played for Rennes, and now plays for Sassuolo in Italy.
Ismaël Koné!
Through it all, helping his home country, Canada, deliver.
Koné! He sends Canada into the semi-finals of Copa America!
Including scoring the decisive penalty in a shootout win over Venezuela at the Copa America, which helped Canada reach the semifinals. It's the kind of success he wants to repeat, among the lucky few who understand the magnitude of the moment, having already played on the biggest stage.
When we walk on the pitch, I just looked around. It's like I just saw the banners, woke up FIFA 2022. It's like it really struck me, like we're at the World Cup. This is some great players, they never played the World Cup.
And now he gets to do it again in a matter of days on home soil. Omar Sachedina, CTV News, Toronto.
Just ahead, Toronto's busiest transit hub shifts into summer mode. From beats to eats to patio treats, we pay a visit to Union Station's Summer Pop-Up Festival. It's another sign the warmer weather is here.
Union Summer is back for its 9th season, bringing food and entertainment to Union Station. CTV's Jessica Smith paid a visit.
Union
Union Summer is back.
It's our amazing open-air dynamic patio festival right outside Union Station.
Now in its 9th season, the pop-up summer event that takes over a portion of Front Street has continued its commitment to supporting local.
It's just really an amazing time to celebrate the best of Toronto, whether it's music, food, and culture.
With food options as diverse as the city itself.
We're known for our veal shawarma and the chicken shawarma. Our veal is mixed with lamb. It's the Iraqi style, so it's got all the flavors in there. You got to come by and grab a bite.
Adding in new vendors like Ugly Delicious.
Music is bumping. There's a lot of people. It's a vibe. The people is here. Booths are full. We're smashing burgers, Wagyu specifically, so it's an honor. 52.
Looking ahead to the FIFA World Cup countdown concert on Wednesday and the first game in the city on Friday, Union Summer is excited to welcome the world to their patio.
Is really bringing in so many people into the city, whether they're, from the GTA or even from abroad. So Union Station is very much a central hub to that. We're already seeing an influx of people.
Creating a meeting spot for all at the city's busiest transit hub.
It's free to stop in at Union Summer anytime with programming on the main stage twice a day. All the fun here on Front Street runs until August 9th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
It was great. We're getting the weather for all these wonderful events.
There's just so much to do in the city. We got the FIFA World Cup this week, but as we head into the evening, there is the potential for stormy weather.
There is. First, we could get a round of showers before any thunderstorms. I'll take one more look at the satellite and radar here for you and show you that line of showers that was inching closer to Hamilton. It does show signs of breaking up a little bit. Perhaps more concerning is the line that's developing over Lake Huron right now. There's some thunder and lightning associated with that one. So a heads up for tonight and for early tomorrow morning. We could get into some active weather. This is a look at the next 3 days. Hot and humid. And that's a look at your game day weather for Friday. Hopefully a mix of sun and cloud Friday afternoon. Michelle and Nathan.
That would be nice. Thank you, Lindsay. That's it for us. But you can catch Omar Sachedina at 11 tonight for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Almond with your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.